Hello, welcome to my other show. My name is Susan Rushton, and this show is AhMuse. It's the show on which I get to talk to and talk with and meet and be curious about people who are visited by the muse, the creative people, in other words, people who sing, dance, write, whatever. And today, my guest is a singer, and I think a dancer, and a teacher, and an actor. This is Beth Gillogly. Beth, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, it's a kick. I want you to know that I was first aware of Beth as a singer. Then I saw her on stage at the State Theater in introducing a movie called about Sophie Tucker. I think it was The Last of the Red Hot Lovers, and she danced and sang and imitated Sophie Tucker. That was fabulous. And then I saw you as Pert Kelton, as Mrs. Mary and the Librarian's Mother in
Mrs. Peru.
Mrs. Peru, yes.
With my Irish accent.
Oh, yes, yes, yeah.
Yes.
At the State Theater. And so you are a widely experienced woman on stage. And in doing some research about you, I discovered that you are the center director at Sierra Foothills Music Together in Auburn. And this is for children and people who are not so young? Too?
Well, it's a parent-child music class. So I'm the local operator of what is an international program.
Is it international?
It is, and it's research-based. It's been around for more than 30 years. And it's a wonderful program for parents and their children age 0, infants, all the way up to age 5.
Okay.
And the goal of the program is to help children support their natural musical ability that they're born with. Just like every child when they're born could speak Russian or Chinese if they have that exposure in their early years. Every child can be musical, which in their terms means sing, keep an accurate beat, and sing in tune. So to be able to speak the language of music. Every child can do that if they have a rich musical environment that they grew up in. And so the goal of our program is to help support children's natural musical ability by giving the parents some tools to integrate music more into their everyday lives. And so we teach songs and chants and fun things to do with music that you can integrate into diaper time and bath time and in the car and meal time, so that hopefully parents can feel more inspired and also relaxed around music. A lot of parents feel nervous that if they can't sing perfectly and they don't sound like the CD, that they shouldn't sing with their children. And our program really hopes to help parents feel that singing can be one of the most beautiful expressions of love to your child. One of the strongest connections you can feel with them is when you're singing to them. And it doesn't matter if it's out of tune, it more matters that it's coming from your heart.
Yeah.
And so we do a lot of things in our program to really help support parents, to help them get over any shyness they may have about singing, and also to play with music, because children learn best, especially that age group 0 to 5, they learn best when playing. And so when we show them that music is a toy that they can play with and they can experiment with it, they can be silly with it, that it doesn't have a lot of parents and adults have kind of a lot of nervousness.
It has to be specific length.
Yes, nervousness around music and fear around music, that it has to be perfect and we have to sound like, these amazing recordings that we hear that are made in a studio with many, many takes and lots of editing. Parents get kind of nervous around that, so to kind of deflate all of that and just let it be fun and easy for parents and children. And
if it's fun and easy, parents are going to do it more.
Exactly.
And the kids will enjoy it more.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I've been doing that for 10 years. I started with my own daughter taking classes from someone else in Auburn, and then eventually I purchased her geographic region and expanded into Nevada City area. And so I've been teaching now for 10 years. and really, really enjoying it. It's a lot of fun. That it helps me be very present in the moment. I tend to be someone who is anxious and worries about the future, as I know a lot of people do, and I tend to.
You do?
I do, and I tend to gallop ahead with all the what ifs. And in that moment, in that classroom, I must be 100% present for those children. And so it's a wonderful gift for me. I get to teach 3 classes a week in Auburn right now, and it's a wonderful gift for me to be totally present with those children. And I watch a lot what the children are doing, and I sometimes integrate on the fly. There's a lot of improvisation that happens during the class. Sometimes we're playing with shaker eggs, for instance, and if I'm doing this and I see a child doing this, I might look at them and say, oh yeah, good idea, with my body, and start doing what they're doing to show them that this is an interactive process.
Too.
Yeah, that's okay too.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's a huge gift for me to work with those children and with the parents at that precious, precious time, 0 to 5, that just goes by so fast. And I know I have my own child who's 13 now, and I know those years just fly by, and they're so precious. So I really feel very blessed to get to teach those classes.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
You said diaper time.
Yes.
Which made me flash back to when I was babysitting a little boy and changing his diaper a lot. And I sang him the same song every time. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah.
Okay.
And finally, after a summer, he started singing back with me.
Great. That's great.
That was
great.
fun. And I can't understand not doing that.
Yeah.
For one thing, it's distracting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
I hurt, I itch, I burn. But if we can sing together.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great way of connecting, and it helps children go through their day. I mean, my daughter attends Live Oak Waldorf School, which is a wonderful school up in Applegate, and especially in their early childhood program, they use music all day long to keep the children's days going, to integrate the rhythm of their day. There's a song for before they eat, there's a song after they eat, there's a cleanup song, there's a time to put your shoes on song. And all those songs really help the children. As soon as they hear the song, they know exactly what to do, and it's that way every day. And so it helps them stay in that rhythm, and it's a really powerful tool. In our classroom for Music Together, we sing bum bum, just a 5-1 when it's time to put things away. And I just sing bum bum, and all the children know that's when it's time to put, I've given them a little toy to play with, it's time to put it back in the box. And I joke with parents that they can use that at home for a while.
Yes. Yeah.
That when it's time to clean up, and I used that with my own daughter, we would just sing those notes as we put things away, and she knew that's the put away things song.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work with her now that she's 13 anymore.
Well, she's 13.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yes. So, how long have you been involved with playing music, being in music, being loving music? How long?
Well, I've always loved music. I don't remember a time when I didn't love music. I grew up in Sacramento, and I attended a Catholic school there. We went to Mass once a week during the school week, and I also went to Mass on Sundays with my family. And I enjoyed Mass like most children enjoy Mass. There's a lot of talking, a lot of which feels very dry, I think, to the younger children, and myself included. But my favorite part was the singing. And our church had a little board up on the wall that had the numbers of the songs that were going to be sung that day. And as soon as we finished one, I'd flip the book ahead and find the number and put my thumb in there, or open it up and see what it was going to be. And if I knew it, I was very excited. And so I always really enjoyed singing, even as a young child. And I remember my teachers in class would always say, well, Beth, why don't you start us with Happy Birthday? And so then when I was in 4th grade, I had a teacher who was very, very musical. And it was the first time I'd really had a musical sort of mentor. And my parents, my dad loved to sing, and he would sing sometimes around the house, but he was a doctor and he was very busy and he wasn't home a lot, and so I didn't get to spend a ton of time making music with him. And I had 5 children in our house, so there was a lot of busyness, and they were all brothers, so there was a lot of raucous, a lot of raucous time. So not a lot of focused creative time in my childhood at home anyway. But in this 4th grade class, I had a teacher whose name, I've forgotten her last name, but her first name was Maria. And I used to write her name in cursive with little music notes over the I. And I just loved her so much. And it was the first time I had a piano in our classroom at school, and she played piano and sang beautifully. And it just was so inspiring to me. And so I really loved music starting way back then, and in high school, my school didn't have a very strong arts program, unfortunately, but I got to try out being in a choir for the first time, and that was just total bliss.
Why?
I loved it so much. Just singing with other voices.
What is there about singing that catches you?
Well, singing, I mean, what I was going to say about choir singing, there's a lot of different experiences for me with singing. Choral singing or singing with another human being where you're making harmony is for me one of the greatest joys on this planet. And I've joked before with people that harmony is my drug of choice. That if you did a brain scan on me while I was experiencing harmony, I think it would be lit up like the cocaine addict's brain is lit up for their drug or whatever it is. All of the pleasure centers in my brain are just completely lit up. I have a total body experience of just complete bliss. I lose track of time, and it's the most incredible feeling, and I am seeking it out all the time. I love that feeling.
Can you just listen to it, or do you think, God, that's beautiful? How do they do that? Do you do that as a singer?
When I'm listening to other people sing harmony, or when I'm singing harmony?
Oh no, when you're listening to other people.
When I'm listening to other people. It's not quite as powerful for me. When I do enjoy hearing harmony for sure, but this experience I'm feeling is when I'm doing it. And it's this deep, incredibly powerful place that I go when I'm experiencing it, when I'm doing it. And I feel I lose track of all time. I mean, the physicists call it that place of flow, where you're just in that flow and you have that experience and you've lost track of time. There's no time and space, and you just want to keep doing what you're doing. And crafters who quilt love get in that place, and all there's people achieve that in all different ways. Runners get in that flow. And so for me, singing in harmony is really where I get into that flow, and I just love it. And I feel especially blessed right now because my child, who's 13, is able to harmonize with me. So I feel like ever since she was small, I've been seeing when she would be ready to do it. And I would teach her songs, and as soon as she could sing a song on her own, then I started teaching her rounds, and I would see if she could hold her part on her own. And we were always
a plot.
Yeah, it was always a plot.
It's mom's
and
plot.
now she is she's an amazing harmonizer and can harmonize circles around me now and improvise harmony and make up her own songs. And so whenever we're in the car together, we're outside together, we're on a hike together, we're always humming, or it's this amazing invisible thread of connection between us. So a friend of ours, we were out doing some what's called nature journaling, so sketching in nature, and with a friend of ours, and we didn't even realize that we were singing together, Fiona and I, and we were drawing, and I started humming a song, and she started humming a harmony to it, and we were drawing for a while, and he stopped and he said, "That is so cool. I am just amazed. I love seeing how you guys have this connection."
Yes.
And we were like, "What?" We didn't even realize it was happening.
Yeah.
So it's just a really magical thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up in a musical household. Two pianos in the living room, and singers, and my father's trumpet and his trombone and his double bell euphonium, and he says
so lucky
that when he was growing up, he would try singing harmony, and everybody around him would say, "Oh, Bob, sing the note.
Stop?
Sing the note. Don't you know what you're doing? You know how to sing," they said. In harmony wasn't singing, as far as they were concerned.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, some people struggle with harmony. I'm wondering if, I don't know your father, I don't know how his tonality was, but for me, before I knew how to sing harmony and improvise harmony, one of the surest ways for me to sing out of tune was to try to sing harmony before I was good at it. When I was in high school, there was someone who I was in a show with, and she was an incredible harmonizer, and I remember going, "Oh, I want to be able to do that."
Yeah.
I was singing, I don't know what song, some pop song, and she started singing a harmony to it, and I was like, "Oh, that is so cool. Are you just making that up?" And she's like, "Oh yeah," and I said, "Oh,
here's the note."
And here I just sing a third up, and I was like, I just didn't understand music theory at that time. I hadn't really studied anything of that, and so I was like, wow, I really want to be able to do that. And when I started to try to do it, I would be so off. It would just be painful. And so I wonder if I mean, not to insult your father, but I wonder if he was having trouble singing the harmony and it was a wrong note, and that's why people were telling him to sing the melody. Because I can't imagine harmony would be unpleasant for anyone if it was done right.
Yeah, he would be convinced that he was doing it perfectly.
Yes, well, perhaps he was.
Maybe not.
Perhaps he was.
So you are now singing with, among other things, Cracker Jack Jazz Band.
Mm-hmm.
There are, I know, the accordion player. I can't think of his
Dave
name.
Fenolio.
Dave Fenolio.
Yeah.
And then there's Joe Souza.
Joe Souza, yeah. They're kind of the core of the group. They've been together, playing together even before I joined them. I've been singing with them for about 9 years now.
Okay.
And they were an instrumental band before I came along. And
how did you get involved with them?
you know, that's kind of a crazy story.
Okay. Tell me a crazy story.
You know, I never really sang jazz music before I joined that band. And I'd always sung classical music and some musical theater. And I started getting into listening to Ella Fitzgerald and Billie Holiday. And I just loved that music. And as I said before, I tend to be an anxious person. I mean, not that I'm always anxious, but I'm definitely type A. I'm high strung. Have a very busy monkey mind, as they call it in yoga class, that's just always doing all kinds of things. And so when I would listen to that music, it just gave me this very calm feeling. It helped me feel really relaxed. And I started saying to friends and family, you know, I have this vision. I wonder what it would be like if I could like croon jazz tunes in a bar or whatever. That sounds so cool, you know. And I would look at videos of them singing and think, wow, that looks like so much fun. And just the way they were in their body and just that great feeling of that early jazz. And so I just kind of kept saying that to friends and family. And every week,
Beth, why don't you do it?
Well, I didn't really know how to do it.
Yeah.
And so, so every week my daughter and I would go to the farmer's market in Auburn, and it's kind of, I joke, it's kind of my church. I go religiously every Saturday morning, and Joe Souza is often there playing his cornet. And so when my daughter was very, very small, it became this thing where she would come to the market with me, and then we would say hi to Joe, and we'd listen to Joe, and then when she got a little older, I said, would you like to sing with Joe? And so she would stand there and she'd sing, you know, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, or something like that, and he would play his horn along with her, and it was really cute. And so one time, Joe was playing, and I came up behind him, and he was playing Amazing Grace on the horn, and I started singing some harmony on top of what he was doing, and I came up behind him, and he went with his horn and turned around, and we finished the song together, and he said, wow, Mom can sing too. And he said, you should come sing with my jazz band. And I said, you have a jazz band? And he said, yeah. And I was like, okay, wow, okay. And he wrote down this address on a piece of paper, and he gave it to me. And he said, we practice on Tuesdays at 1. Here's the address. And I'd love to see you there. And so I was like holding this paper going, wow, universe, thank you for this you know, amazing gift. And then another part of me was like, I
can't do this.
Another part of me was like, I don't even know who this guy is. He plays at the market, but like, who is this person?
Where am I going to end up at 1 o'clock on Tuesday?
I know. Whose house am I going to? And like, what's going to happen when I get there? So anyway, I even called a friend because my husband was out of town that week for work, and I called a friend and said, I'm going to this place on Tuesday at 1. I'm sure everything will be fine, but if I don't call you by 4 o'clock, here's the address, come and find me. Like, I don't know. Anyway, I was just being silly, but so I got there, and it was this, it was Dave Fenolio's living room. And I sang some songs with the guys, and it just felt incredibly amazing to me. And I went home, and I was on cloud nine. I was on cloud nine, and they weren't looking for a singer. They were an instrumental band, and here I arrived, and I talked to Joe the next day, and he's like, the band loved you. We have a gig coming up, you know, at this time. We'd love to have you sing with us. And so it just snowballed from there. And at first they would have, for a gig that was like 2 hours long, they'd have me sing 4 or 5 songs, which is a very small percentage of the songs. They might do 20 songs in a gig that long. And then they realized that the audiences were really enjoying my songs perhaps more than the instrumental songs. Not really, but you know, they really liked the vocals, and so they started adding in more and more vocals. And
so it's okay with them.
Yeah,
Good.
It's been okay with them, and we have a great time at rehearsal, and we have a great time in our performances, and I've just really, it's been a huge gift for me to sing that kind of music, again, because I feel like it gives me such a great sense of calm. For me, music is a kind of medicine. It really is. And I was seeking that out without realizing what a strong medicine it was for me, how calm and happy it made me feel to do that kind of singing. And I was seeking it out and asking the universe for that without really realizing how much I needed it and what a great gift it would be for me when I had it. So,
wow.
yeah, so I feel really blessed to be singing with them. And it's been such a neat thing to have Fiona now old enough to be singing with us. And she's appeared a couple times at different performances with this band. And that's just been a blast.
I saw the two of you, and you may or may not remember.
At the Art Walk?
Yeah, at the Art Walk.
Yeah.
You were performing, and I don't expect you to remember because you're performing. But at the clock tower.
The clock tower, yeah.
At the second to last Art Walk. You and Fiona doing this magnificent harmonizing.
Yeah, she's just amazing harmonizer. Yeah.
And you're not bad either,
well,
woman.
all I'm doing is singing the melody. I mean, I feel like I have the easy part. She's just going all over the place with all of her harmonies. But you do have to be strong on your part. If you're going to sing harmony, you have to be able to stay on your part without getting thrown off by the other person. And that's definitely an acquired skill that not every singer has, for sure. But with all the practice I get with her harmonizing at home, we both are fine, singing our part. Ideally, you're able to, when you're harmonizing, you're able to sing your own part and also listen to the other person's part so that you can adjust your balance and volume and hear where they're going and maybe, try something different with them if they're going to try some improvisation. So
there's a story I read about Judy Holliday.
Billie Holiday?
Judy.
Oh, Judy Holiday. I don't know that person.
She was born yesterday on stage and on screen, and she also sang. She was in Bells Are Ringing, and she was convinced, I can't do a solo, I can't. And so they taught her something they thought, they told her was harmony. This is going to be your harmony. So she nailed it, and then they said, that's the melody, you're going to sing that. Now, is that a reasonable thing to do as far as you're concerned?
I don't know. It seems kind of strange way to help her get over, I guess, whatever her fright was. I don't know. I'm not familiar with that story. It seems maybe she would feel more comfortable if she were imagining she were singing with someone else. I know people who sing in choirs who don't want a solo. They sing as part of a group. Like I've sung with Cola Voce, the choir here that's here in our area. And there are singers in there who want a solo. Every time there's a solo chance, they want to be considered. And I would be in that category. I love to sing solo. But there are also singers in that choir who love singing in the choir, but they absolutely never want to sing in a solo. Because that singing in a choir feels way less pressure to them.
And they're doing it with a group.
Exactly, so they're not so exposed. And I definitely feel that way. I don't really get that nervous when I'm performing, but I definitely feel zero nerves when I'm performing in a choir, just because I just
you've
feel...
got everybody around you.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I feel like there's nothing could go wrong, really. When I'm performing solo, I might get a little butterfly here or there, depending on how many times I've done the piece or what the audience is like or, whatever. But generally, I don't get that nervous, but I definitely feel more exposed when I'm singing by myself.
Sure.
But one of the things I just love about either singing solo or in a choir is that connection with the audience, and that's another thing I really enjoy is singing directly to one or two people in the audience and finding those people who are really into it and loving it and finding them and just giving it to them, because sometimes you find those people in the audience and they're just so excited to be hearing you, and it's such an amazing thing to find them and really sing right into their heart, and I really enjoy doing that. With audiences. And a long time ago, I was very blessed in my college choir. I was in several musical groups in college. That was really where my music, my love of music really got to blossom in my undergraduate college, at which I went to Santa Clara University. So there I was a music leader in the church. I was in a Renaissance group, which was a one person per part, a little tiny 4 to 6 person group. And then I was in a university chorus, which is a 60 to 70 voice choir. And our university chorus was fortunate enough to get to go to Russia to perform. And here, our American audiences there are some audience members who are really excited, but there are also some audience members who are really not engaged. And when it's time to clap, some audience members are so happily clapping here in the United States, and some audience members are, you know, a little bit less enthusiastic. The Russian audiences, I have never experienced what they were like. Literally all of them were on the edge of their seats for the entire event.
Wow.
And we were some unheard of choir who was going through Russia doing these concerts, and they've never heard of us. We're never going to be back. It, you know, it wasn't like that big of a deal, and they were still just riveted. And this one concert, I got to sing a solo in this concert in Russia, and there was this boy who was probably 12 years old or something at the way back of the theater, and his shining little face was he was riveted on me the whole time. And I was scanning the audience while I was singing my solo, and I saw him, and I just sang the rest of the time right to him, and he just ate it up and was so happy. And so we finished this song, and we did our bows, and the audience was clapping. And here he stands at the very back of this church, 30 rows back, gets out of his aisle, and the whole concert just stopped, and he walked all the way up to the front of the church, and he had a flower in his hand. And he walked all the way over to the stairs and came up the stairs and walked right up to me and gave me this flower. And it was really one of the most beautiful experiences ever.
Okay.
And oh my goodness, yeah. So anyway, that connection with the audience, and I have a picture somewhere in my picture box at home. I have a picture of us that I found him after the concert and got to take a picture with him. And you know, who knows where that young boy is now?
Yeah.
But it was just a really powerful experience
Yes.
of connecting with someone in the audience, and
Absolutely.
I love doing that whenever I can as a singer, because that's a big part of why I'm up there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Beth, you've made me cry.
Well, good.
Good, yes. Oh my, I'm talking to Beth Gillogly, who works with, who plays with the Crackerjack Band at crackerjackband.com, and she is Center Director of Sierra Foothills Music Together, sierrafoothillsmt.com, info@sierrafoothillsmt.com, or 530-889-9085, or catch her singing. Just try. Catch her singing at Farmers Market sometimes with
Joe Souza.
With Joe Souza.
Yep.
Or wow. What a kick. Thank you, Beth. Thank you very much for joining me.
Sure, I'm glad to be here.
Oh, good. And thank you for watching. I'll see you again.